Starting your day off with a take on Vegas you won't get anywhere else.
Hi, I'm Holly Madison, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hi, this is William Shatner, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and I listen to Brian Shapiro. Why? Because I'm a good American. So is he. And if you don't listen to him, you need to pack up and leave this country.
This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
Come on, guys!
What's up, everybody? It is Monday. Back at you, the Vegas Take Live, Sharp and Shapiro. Glad you could join us. What a crazy weekend. Sports, politics, news, everything. So much to get to today on this show, along with Sharp and Shapiro. Of course, it's Monday, so that means Mr. Chris Witt himself joining us in studio. Chris, how's it going, my man?
I'm doing outstanding. Had a fun weekend, very festive, a lot of stuff going on, and always a pleasure to jump in and join you guys to start the week off.
That's right. We got a lot to get to. I mean, this story about Big Papi, arguably one of the best hitters in baseball history, shot in his native land. We're going to get to that crazy story. A helicopter crashing into a building in Lower Manhattan. I mean, they've had enough of that. They don't need any more of that. Talk about PTSD. I mean, this is a wild and crazy story. We're going to get to that. I say only. I mean, one person's enough to make it a horrible story. One person lost his life, and that was of course, that was the pilot. But we're going to get to that too. It was crazy this morning. Crazy day of news. But let's start with the weekend that Donald Trump had, right? Because talk a lot about this trip that he took to the UK, and we hear this story coming out as he's there. He's making himself out to be a hero. Why? Because of these tariffs that he put in place with Mexico. Well, we're learning that it was a load of crap. Now, why do I say that? Well, apparently Mexico had already promised to take many of the actions agreed over the weekend in this immigration deal with the U.S. months before Donald Trump's tariff threat. Officials from both countries who are familiar with negotiations have stated that. So Trump has made himself out to be a hero, and he's not. He's not in this instance. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you think if we put 6,000 troops there, Mexican troops, that's going to just solve all the problems? Nobody's going to cross the border. Everything's going to be just fine. No, that's also not going to change. And Trump talked a little bit about that in an interview this morning on CNBC. And he made the claim that basically, I'm paraphrasing here, immigration issues are going to be solved if we put 6,000 troops, Mexican troops at the border, which is completely and utterly ridiculous. We will get to that as well.
Well, full disclosure on that also, I believe the 6,000 troops are going to be headed to the southern border of Mexico, right?
Correct.
And to deal with the Guatemala situation.
Correct, exactly. But what do you guys make of this tariff situation? You know, once again, it's the Trump administration trying to paint themselves out to be heroes. President Trump, the king, the best president of all time. He's doing so many wonderful things. And then we learned that this deal was struck months before, that most of it was done months before, and the tariffs had absolutely nothing to do with it. What do you guys make of this situation?
Well, here's my thought process on it. It's two separate situations. You're dealing with trade and you're dealing with economics, which to me is something that is totally on another level. And then you have the situation, it's called immigration, right? And we're dealing with the situation, I call it, at the southern border. I don't call it a crisis, okay? I think it's a situation that we deal with and we're dealing with on a regular basis. I don't think there's anything that should be connected with it. And myself, like others who are not economic experts by any stretch of the imagination, I'm not trying to pretend that I'm someone who knows all the answers when it comes to economics and how we deal with trade deals with other countries.
I do. I'm a genius.
But I don't understand. There is no connection, in my opinion, to the president making a unilateral decision on tariffs and a 5% tariff on Mexico and how we deal with immigration issues, okay? And to me, it doesn't make any sense why the two are not connected. And this fits a pattern. What is happening here fits a pattern where the Trump administration goes out and does something on their own and for all intents and purposes manufactures a crisis, okay? And then they try to give the illusion that they are the ones saving the day, as you just pointed out, Brian, and the president comes out and says, oh, okay, now Mexico's agreed to some arbitrary, results or arbitrary standards. And so all of a sudden now Donald Trump is deciding and the American government decided, hey, okay, now we're not going to go through with these 5% tariffs. To me, it is a huge and utter sham, in my opinion.
JD,
and it's just a textbook case of what Trump tends to do.
What do you make of this,
when these
JD?
escapades come up?
So this deal was done 6 or 7 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, for the most part.
Okay.
For the most part, yes.
So do I have an
Well, it
issue?
wasn't a deal. It was more. It was. They were the Mexican government was expected to make these changes.
A conversation was had between the Mexican government and Donald Trump, and there was some expectation about what was going to take place at the border as far as troops being deployed. Correct?
I don't know the exact details as to what Donald Trump speaking to the Mexican government, what exactly has happened, in the past few coming days.
What this is
going on.
Let's not try to make this more than what it is. It's another example.
I think
it's
that's
another example of Donald Trump and his administration trying to take credit for everything, just like he wants 100% credit for the economy when we know that Barack Obama started it. He started the trend going, and Trump has kept it going, but Trump wants credit for everything, okay? If they cure cancer, Trump's going to want credit for that also. This is what he does. This is what his administration does. These tariffs had literally nothing to do with this deal with Mexico. Nothing, zero. Let me give out the phone number. What do you guys think out there? 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the show. Give us a buzz, 257-5396. Do you think this is, we're making this a bigger deal than it should be? No. It's another situation of Donald Trump and his administration trying to take credit for something when the tariffs had absolutely nothing to do with it. I don't think, and by the way, the Republicans were never going to want to let this thing go through anyway. But with that being said, Trump starts with this tariff nonsense. He knew, rightfully so, that this was never going to happen. He was never going to pull this off.
And you know what this is? It's also another example, right, of President Trump. He has an opportunity to make a unilateral decision, right? He loves things like this, right? He loves pardons. He loves tariffs, things that he can do that he doesn't have to go to Congress to do, right? He likes to have those decisions. And so this again is another glaring example of him exercising that opportunity.
Speaking of I can't stand Don Jr., by the way, before we take some phone calls at 257-5396, I do want to talk about this story real quickly because I think it's hilarious and at the same time pathetic. So Eric and Don Jr., I don't like Eric, but I can't stand Don Jr., I just don't. As we say, I think he's won the sperm lottery, as we like to say. He was born into the Trump family. He's done nothing in his life. I think Don Jr. is a complete imbecile. But with that being said, they walk into this Irish pub, and they claim that they're buying everybody drinks, right? Well, what happens? The owner asked how they're going to pay, and they claim, this is what they said. They said, drinks are on us, but they said, sorry, we don't have any money on us. And they walked out of the bar without paying the tab. This is Donald Trump's kids. Now, they did pay for it afterwards. The Trump organization paid for it afterwards. What kind of morons walk into a bar? I don't care if you're the president's kids. You walk into a bar, you offer to buy people shots and drinks, and then the manager comes up to you and says, how you guys going to pay? Sorry, we don't have any cash on us. Have you ever heard of plastic before, you nimrods? They walk out of the bar and they don't pay the tab. So what happens? The manager makes a call. They said, listen, we'll take care of it. Eventually, they did take care of it because this would be a horrendous story if they didn't end up paying for it. But what people walk into a bar and not pay the tab? I mean, I just don't understand it.
Well, I find it fascinating that a story like this comes out when, look, there's been numerous stories, right, in the past probably 5 to 10 years where there's been discussions and talks about how Donald Trump and his kids seem so well-rounded, right? They seem so down to earth. Yeah. And to be quite honest with you, I do think that way about Ivanka. I think Ivanka is someone who's very measured, someone who's very, is buckled down, and I think she's someone who is a real person who, doesn't take advantage of what would be perceived.
So basically, what you're saying is she takes after her mother. That's
something, something like this would not happen. I would expect with Ivanka Trump. But the problem is that Eric and both Don Jr. they have, particularly here in recent months, have perceived themselves to be kind of like the poster child for privileged kids and people
talk about
grown up privilege
with a silver spoon in your mouth
when certain circumstances like this take place.
Yes. Why don't we take some phone calls on this? 257-5396 702-257-5396. Let's start off with Gary. Gary, what's up?
Hello.
Yes, sir. You're on the air. Go.
I do this on a regular basis. I double dip today. I got a cheeseburger and a burrito early from the same person I did a little bit of work for, and a different person came to work, and I got something for free for nothing, and I go into bars and I have them put it on my tab. I may get around to paying it. I do this on a regular basis.
Gary, have you ever walked into a bar and not paid your tab and walked out?
In a country that you don't live in, and that you're only going to be for, a matter of maybe a couple days or a couple weeks.
I'm just curious. Have you ever done that, Gary?
Yeah.
Be honest.
I'm curious too. I'm still curious. You've been on the radio for a few months. I'm still curious where you're coming from.
I've been on the radio for more than a few months. I've been on the radio for 20 years. Nice try. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. 20 years. You're only 39 years old.
Yes.
And
that's right.
You've been in this business for years and years.
Yes.
You started off when you were like 10 years old.
Nobody cares.
I know you have Donald Trump derangement syndrome.
No, I don't.
But that's okay.
I don't have Donald Trump derangement syndrome. I don't know what you're talking about. Why? So if you disagree with a politician and you don't like a politician, you must have derangement syndrome. Should I just kiss the ass of every single idiot politician out there?
No.
And okay, so why are you saying that for then?
I'm going to give you credit live on the air, like what's his name? The guy that you love so much from New York. That
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I appreciate the back.
Howard Stern. You're talking about Howard Stern.
There's people who are on the radio.
Yes.
I'll name another radio station.
No, we got to let you go, Gary. Don't name other radio stations. But I do. If you were trying to give me a compliment, I appreciate that. 257-5396, the number to call. Again, 257-5396. Let's go to Bobby. Bobby, what's up?
Hey, Brian, what it is?
What's up, Bobby?
And the rest of you people in there. Fantastic show.
Thank you, Bobby. What's on your mind?
I can't stop listening. It's hilarious. So, hey, I do got to call you out, though, on one thing. I'm going to impersonate somebody for 10 seconds, and you guess who that is, okay?
Go for it.
Even though I suck. So, hey, where are these jobs all going to come from? A magic wand or something?
Was that your Barack
Obama? That was Obama, baby.
Okay, well, let me.
That means he has no.
Okay, well, let me give you an impersonation. You can tell me who they. Let me be clear. Donald Trump is a buffoon. Let me be clear. Okay, there's my.
I know who that is.
Yeah. Okay, so
that was Nancy.
Okay, but what do you think about this whole tariff situation and his two idiotic sons going into a bar not paying the tab?
Okay.
I mean, this is an embarrassment on the country.
I can't even comment on his sons. They're morons. But I can tell you about
we agree on that.
Yes, that's right. What I'm saying about the tariffs is the fact that the dude from Mexico flew up here and they went back with a deal, whether it works or not, is at least better than the do-nothing Congress and the do-nothing Democrats. At least somebody's trying to do something.
I don't disagree with that.
I mean, are you impressed with Nadler?
No, absolutely not. In fact, if you asked me who I am impressed with, I like Pete Buttigieg. And you know what? The guy is very young. The guy is very young. He hasn't done a lot, but I'm going to tell you something. Well, what do you mean by love? I don't know what that means. But no, but seriously, I think he's extremely well spoken. I think he's very intelligent. I think it takes a lot of guts to do what he did, to come out the way he did in this society, in this day and age. And I'll tell you something, man.
Hey, I'm going to come out. I love my cat.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad. I don't want to call Pete on you. Thank you, Bobby, for the phone call. I appreciate the call. 257-5396. Let's go to Johnson. Johnson, what's up?
Hey guys, how are you?
Doing good, Johnson. What's on your mind?
Hey, could I change the topic?
It depends what the topic is.
Well, I wanted to talk about Michael Avenatti.
Okay, that's a little strange, but okay. What about Michael Avenatti?
I never can get to your Wednesday show, but he's getting dragged through the mud on the media. And he only has two ways to fight back, and one of them is using your show as a platform. I was wondering if you could let him tell his side of the story this week.
In regards to what? In regards to his legal issues? Is that what you're what are you referring to?
Yeah, he's being charged with extortion.
Yeah, I know that. I understand. Money. I understand he is, Johnson, but at this time he is not able to speak about some of those cases. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I've said that on the show a number of times. You might have already asked me that. He's not allowed to do that. I find him very entertaining, very intelligent, and I think it's a good interview. And if you don't like it, you don't have to listen. But I'm not going to ask that question.
No, I like it. I just want to hear his side of the story.
Well, what do you think he's going to say, Johnson? I'm guilty? Take me to jail? If I asked him... No, hold on a second. If he was allowed to answer that question, what do you think he would say? He would say, I'm innocent. I'm also innocent until proven guilty. And by the way, I did ask him that in week one. I did ask him that, and I'll tell you what he said. He said, I'm innocent. He said he looks forward to his day in court where he can prove that. What else do you want from the guy?
Well, like he might be able to say, "Here's what really happened. There was a
He's not going to go into
misunderstanding."
details. He's not going to go into that'll be given in a court of law. And you know what? Quite frankly,
Brian,
Johnson,
this caller's actually been very complimentary of the way that you've handled the situation.
quite
Yeah,
frankly,
it sounds like Brian's getting a little
Over nothing.
irritated at the caller right
Johnson,
now on the air.
Johnson, I apologize if I'm taking it out on you, but there are a lot of morons on Twitter that are asking me, "Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?"
He's not saying that you're
Johnson, I'm not trying to go
throwing him softballs.
I understand, Johnson. I'm not trying to go after you, and I didn't mean it that way. Thank you for my co-host for setting me straight on that one. But what I am trying to say, Johnson, is that I find it more entertaining to ask him questions about Tucker Carlson's porn collection than to ask him questions about bank and wire fraud. Do you see what I'm saying, Johnson? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I just thought that he would try to kind of clear his name because he's getting dragged through the mud of the court of
you're right.
It's ongoing litigation. He's not going to be able to come out and actually get into specifics about the cases that are in court right now. So,
Johnson,
I mean, it's not going to be an opportunity for the listeners out there, yourself and others, to get details when it comes to everything that's ongoing with his court proceedings.
Johnson, I'm sorry I snapped you. I had 2 horrendous pieces of pizza before the show. My blood sugar is very high right now.
You went to CC?
And as Lee pointed
horrible.
out, he does have a pigmentation going right now, Shap, where he's getting a little red over the phone call.
No, I'm just tired of people saying, "Why don't you ask him questions about this and that?" Get your own radio show. That's all. 257-5396, 702-257-5396. Ron, what's up, buddy?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
This is the greatest propaganda show I ever heard in my life.
What have we mentioned that's propaganda, Ron?
You guys, you knew you guys would fit right in with.
Be specific.
Who are we pumping up? What propaganda? Who are we backing?
Oh, hold on, Chris. Ron. Okay, thank you, Ron. Answer my question now. Be specific. What have I said in this segment that you would consider propaganda?
Whatever you said.
Be specific.
But propaganda.
Be specific. Stop saying the word propaganda. Be specific. What did I say that was propaganda? I'm going to ask you one more time, and I'm going to hang up on you if you don't answer. What did I say specifically, Nimrod?
Propaganda.
What did I say specifically? Everything you say, because you're a moron and you can't even talk on the air and speak your thoughts. You're a moron. You're propaganda. Your name should be Ron Propaganda. Get off the show. Get off the show, you moron.
Hey, great call, Ron.
You jackass. You're propaganda. Your last name is Propaganda. 257-5396 is the number to call.
I do find it fascinating, though, they cannot give examples when you ask for it specifically, and they can't point out exact points as to what we are promoting or what type of propaganda or who we are behind when it comes to any type of propagandist talk.
If you think it's propaganda, then give me a specific example, and I'll gladly debate you on it. We might not agree, but I won't call you a moron. But if you're going to call me something right off the bat and not be specific on what I'm doing, then what would you call somebody like that?
He also called you Goebbels.
I don't even know what that means.
I would call someone like that a bloviator, Brian. That's what I would say, a bloviator.
I don't even know what that means.
A lot of bloviation going on.
He was the minister of propaganda for the Nazi regime.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. I just know Adolf Hitler. That's the important one that I know. 257-5396 is the number to call. Again, 702-257-5396. Let's go to Brady. Brady, what's up?
Yeah, hey, Brian. You called the King Trump a buffoon, an economic buffoon. And
did you just call him King Trump? Did you just call him King Trump?
Yes, I did.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Okay, so Brady, since you've started this phone conversation so well, please keep going.
Okay. You remember Barack Obama was the only president never to have an annualized GDP growth of 3% of all the presidents that's ever come through.
What year did Barack Obama start his presidency?
2008.
Okay, what happened in 2008? I think I seem to recall something happening in 2008 that was kind of historic with respect to our economy and our nation and where we were at as a country.
Hey, King Obama, can you answer that question?
And what president allowed 2008 to happen?
King Obama,
and
answer the question.
What party was he from?
You know what? Donald Trump, we'd be at 35,000 right now on the stock market if it wasn't the Fed. That was all the Democrats that are trying to stop this economy from roaring. They've had 8 separate rate increases under Trump in 2 years. How many did Barack Obama have in 8 years?
I noticed something you don't like to bring up is the type of economy that that Barack Obama inherited from George W. Bush. But Brady, you don't want to talk about that, do you? You don't want to talk about that, right?
How about all the quantitative easing that he had 3 separate
so you don't want to address that.
Look, there's no question, okay, that when President Trump went into office and the Republicans took control, there was a lot of loosening of regulations that has been beneficial to the economy. There's no question about that, okay? But don't act like just because Donald Trump got elected that he's somehow some kind of savant and is the only reason why the economy is doing well. It's not true.
He's actually 7th in the last, I believe, 70 or 80 years in jobs created. There's been 450,000 jobs created. Clinton was about 468, so he's doing pretty well.
Brady, here's my suggestion to you. Take off your... Brady, no, hold on. I'll let you say it, but my suggestion to you is take off your Donald Trump knee pads for 5 minutes when you call into a show like this. That's my suggestion. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll give you this one then. King Trump is the economic James Bond. He has the magic wand.
Genius, yeah.
You know what else?
He's a prodigy. He's a business prodigy.
You know what else he's a genius at? Yeah. Banging porn stars when his wife just has a baby. He's a genius at that too.
When I think about someone who's got their pulse on America when it comes to the economy and economics as a whole, I think of Donald Trump. Yes,
this will be a good one. Let's go to Wilfrey. Wilfrey, are you there?
Hey, Bob.
I am.
Wilfrey, can I ask you a question, honestly? Because you're
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm an open book.
You're a very honest man. Is it true that you complained to management at Beasley Broadcasting that I called you an idiot on the radio? Is that true?
I'm not sure it's about idiot. What I was trying to understand was who's sponsoring it, because Beasley management makes a statement.
Okay, so let me be clear.
Somebody has to be accountable for your show.
So please press record. If you're recording the show now, please press record. Okay, you're pressing record? Thank you. Okay, so this is very important. I want you to record this. Anybody who listens to a show that they claim they do not like, but yet calls in every day and listens to the show every day and complains to management is an idiot. Did you record that? Please record that and send that to corporate. Can you do that for me, please, Wilfrey?
Well, I can't.
Only a loser would do that. Only a loser would listen to a show. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I hate the Kardashians. You don't hear me complaining about the reality show, and I don't watch it every day. I don't like Justin Bieber. You won't see me in line trying to get Justin Bieber tickets. You know why? Because I don't like them. I have better things to do with my time. If you don't like what we do,
I would watch Bieber versus Tom Cruise in the Octagon.
I would watch that.
And I bet that if Shapiro got free tickets, he might go to see Justin Bieber.
All right. You know what? It's a free country, Wilfrey. If you don't like me or you don't like the things that we say or I say to you, then you could choose to change the channel. What part of that do you not understand?
Well, I understand all of it. Who said I didn't understand?
Well, you're calling in every day. You're complaining about me, and you're calling in to management and complaining because I think you're an idiot.
No. I made that call some time ago, but it was about your racist remark.
What did I say that was racist? Give me one thing ever in 20 years that I've ever said on the air that's racist.
No, you called him a racist.
I think you're a racist. I never said a racist thing in my life.
Now, can I make a factual reference if I can, something intelligent?
Well, for once in one of your calls, I'd love you to do that. So go ahead.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to have you look at something. Did you watch Mueller's presentation? I think it's 8-minute or 10-minute presentation.
What do you think? Did, right? Of course I did. Yes.
Okay. You're a poker player, is my understanding, correct? One of the things you do.
I'm glad I have a stalker. Go ahead.
All right. Well, stalker. See, I don't know why you do that, Brian. There you go again.
You know what?
So here's the point. Aren't the eyes important to you? Do you read a man through the eyes?
No, I don't look a man in the eyes. No, I don't.
No, he asked you, do you read men through their eyes? Through their eyes.
No, usually it's the things they say, their mannerisms, so on and so forth.
To me, if you don't look at the eyes are the windows of the soul.
Okay,
what I wanted you to do was look at Mueller's report.
What is this guy talking about?
This man makes no contact with the people, one of the most historical moments in our nation.
So you think he's lying?
What's your overall impression of Robert Mueller then, Wilfrey? What do you think about Robert Mueller?
Well, I think for the first time in our lives,
he's trying to discredit everything he says because he doesn't make eye contact.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I asked Wilfrey. I asked you a question. What is your overall impression of Robert Mueller?
You've made more cogent arguments before.
Yeah, no, I was trying to make the point that the eyes are the windows of the soul. Never in my lifetime has an older male has been.
No, you're leveraging the point. to discredit Mueller and his report, and it has nothing to do with anything. It's totally irrelevant and moot.
I'm suggesting to you, I've never seen a man
It's asinine.
at such important time has such little eye contact in my lifetime, and I wanted Brian's opinion on it. So I was trying to make the case.
I will give you my opinion, Wilfrey.
You just want to do more hate stuff.
I'm going to give you my opinion.
I didn't call it to be a hater.
Okay, fine. I'm going to give you my opinion. Would you like my opinion? I think it is completely ludicrous what you are saying. Okay, when you look at Robert Mueller's eyes, and because he didn't make eye contact with the media, he must be discrediting himself. You sound like an imbecile when you say something like that.
Wilfrey,
I didn't say discredit himself. I asked you to assess the moment. And I asked your opinion.
Okay.
In my world, eye contact is critical.
You're freaking me out. You're freaking me out now.
So Wilfrey,
I'm done. I'm done with him.
Wilfrey, though, I was asking him, what does he think when he looks into Donald Trump's eyes and sees Donald Trump?
He sounds like one of those.
Donald Trump speaks.
He sounds like one of those
Bob,
dudes.
It's back to the argument board for you.
He sounds like one of those dudes who shows up in a house from To Catch a Predator. What is he talking about? Look into somebody's eyes. I don't understand.
He's trying to say that if you don't make eye contact, whether you're on TV or in person, you can't be trusted.
Holy schmagoli, that guy. Yeah, keep calling the company. Go ahead, keep calling the company. Tell me how that works out for you. Get a life. Let's go to Dave. Dave, what's up?
Hi, Dave.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
This is Dave. Brian, I'm a huge Trump supporter. I'll make no bones about it.
That's quite all right.
I really appreciate you having people on your show like Michael Avenatti. I think they're interesting.
I agree. That's why we have him on, Dave. And look, we had Mark Levin on. I think Mark Levin is interesting. We have Danny Tarkanian. We had his wife on. I like hearing different points of view so long as they make sense, and I think they do.
Well, and Michael Avenatti is provocative.
He is. Yep.
That's good, and I think as a radio show host, you need to do that. I mean, that's part of the game.
Dave, I appreciate you saying that. That's what I have been saying all along. So I appreciate the phone call, Dave. Thank you very much. Thank you for calling in. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks a lot, Dave.
And we will continue to have Michael Avenatti on, whether the haters like it or not. Wilfrey could continue to call the company every day if he wants to, but Michael Avenatti will be calling in every week, whether he likes it or not. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. We'll get to more of your calls. Neil, Dave, you're coming up next. You're listening to the Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDWN. 720 AM KDWN. 720 AM KDWN. 720